Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're cutting through the noise around artificial intelligence in education. We've got a stack of material here, a recent research paper, some detailed notes, and we're going to find out what's really happening on the ground. Where is AI actually being implemented in schools and universities? What's working? And what are the key factors making a difference?
That's right. Our mission today is, well, to give you a shortcut to being well-informed on this. We're looking at concrete examples, not just theory. You'll see that AI isn't some distant future concept. It's here, today, shaping learning and teaching. We found some surprising examples both here in Texas and around the globe.
Yeah, we're talking about everything from AI predicting student success to personalizing learning experiences, and even helping teachers draft documents like IEPs.
Exactly. It's impacting, well, multiple facets of the educational landscape.
Okay, let's unpack this. Maybe start close to home, right here in Texas. What are we seeing in K-12 schools?
A lot of activity, actually. Texas institutions are actively using AI to enhance learning and also operations. A good example is the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. They have this AI Empower ED program.
Okay.
It's a state-level effort, specifically designed to train educators on using AI effectively and responsibly.
And that training, it seems to be translating into actual tools and systems in K-12. I see here we're talking about things like early warning systems.
Yes, these are particularly interesting. They use academic data, sure, but also behavioral data, even socio-emotional data points. The idea is to predict if a student might be heading towards academic trouble.
How far ahead?
Months ahead, potentially. So educators can intervene before a student falls significantly behind. Austin ISD, for instance, they're piloting one of these systems right now.
So it's about being proactive, right? Getting ahead of the curve instead of just reacting.
Precisely. It's a shift. From reactive support to predictive prevention, we're also seeing AI starting to influence the curriculum itself.
Oh, so like adding coding classes.
Yes. Not just that. It's more about integrating AI literacy into the curriculum across subjects. It's about preparing students for a world where understanding AI's role is crucial, kind of weaving concepts in progressively.
And for the teachers, because let's face it, their workload is immense. Are AI tools actually helping them?
Absolutely. I think that's a major driver here. AI is being used for tasks like giving students real-time feedback on their reading. You see literacy tutors doing that. It helps with lesson planning, automating parts of grading, even generating differentiated learning materials.
Right.
The idea is to free up teacher time so they can do what humans do best, provide that mentorship, socio-emotional support, really connect with students.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's get specific then. You mentioned Austin ISD's early warning system, but what about other districts? Any standouts?
Sure. Look at Tomball ISD near Houston. They were actually the first in Texas to pilot PowerBuddy.
PowerBuddy, what is that?
It's an AI assistant, kind of like a specialized chatbot built on models similar to ChatGPT, but it's integrated directly into their PowerSchool platform.
Okay, so it's right there for students.
Exactly. Students can access it as an always available tutor, getting hints and guidance when they're stuck. Crucially, it doesn't just give them the answer.
That good.
Yeah. Tomball sees it as a way to support students after hours, prevent them from getting lost or confused, and it also potentially saves teachers time answering repetitive questions.
An always available tutor. That feels like a pretty big deal for equity. Access outside of school hours?
It certainly does. Then there's Northside ISD in San Antonio. They've put a really strong emphasis on teacher training first.
Training is key, right? You can have the best tools, but if teachers don't know how to use them effectively or trust them.
Exactly. So Northside trained staff on responsible AI use, practical applications. Then they rolled out tools like Canva for education's AI features for content creation, and platforms like Magic School and Class Companion for streamlining administrative tasks, helping with workflow.
Class Companion sounds familiar. What does that specifically do?
Class Companion is great for providing instant feedback, particularly on student writing. It can analyze a piece of work, identify areas needing improvement, and give targeted feedback almost immediately.
So it helps with that quick turnaround.
Right. And this fits right into what educators call response to intervention, or RTI. That framework where students get increasingly intensive support based on their needs.
Oh, and Northside also used AI translation tools. This was impressive. To communicate with families in over 50 languages.
Wow, 50 languages. That's massive for connecting with diverse communities.
Huge impact on family engagement, absolutely.
Let's jump back to Austin ISD for a second. You mentioned their early warning system before. What kind of data does it actually flag? What triggers an alert? Yeah, that system analyzes a combination of things: academic performance, attendance records, and socio-emotional indicators. It's designed to identify students who might be at risk of failing a course up to 3 months in advance.
3 months, okay.
And when a student is flagged, it alerts their teachers or counselors. This is seen as having a potentially huge benefit, especially for students with learning differences, making sure they get timely support before small issues become big problems.
And it's not just about student support directly. What about teacher professional development? Is AI playing a role there?
That's happening too. Keller ISD, that's in the DFW area, they piloted an AI coach developed by Athena.
An AI coach for teachers, how does that work?
So this tool analyzes classroom videos that teachers record of themselves teaching. The AI provides feedback on their teaching practice, things like pacing, the types of questions they ask, student engagement levels.
Interesting.
It's a form of personalized PD, professional development, giving teachers concrete data points to reflect on and, improve their craft.
So AI isn't just for direct student use, it's supporting the educators behind the scenes as well.
Absolutely. And it's not just these big district-wide rollouts either. Individual teachers are experimenting, innovating on their own.
Many cool examples of that.
Yes, like an AP teacher I read about at Idea Carver, that's a charter school in San Antonio. With large class sizes, they're using tools like ChatGPT to help with lesson creativity.
Yeah.
Things like simplifying complex scientific data for students or generating interesting writing prompts, just sparking ideas. And they also use Class Companion, like in Northside, for instant feedback on student essays. Getting that feedback quickly in a large class is a game changer for keeping students motivated and on track.
Okay, so that's a pretty good snapshot of Texas K-12. A lot going on. But universities are also deep in this, right? Higher education.
Definitely. Higher ed institutions across Texas are exploring AI in various ways. The University of Texas at Austin, for instance, is looking seriously at generative AI for creating academic resources, enhancing learning experiences, and supporting research endeavors by both faculty and students.
And predictive analytics shows up here too, just like in K-12, I imagine.
It does, though maybe on a different scale or with different data points. Universities are using platforms that analyze vast amounts of student data grades, sure, but also course engagement, how often they use campus resources, even demographic data sometimes. The goal is the same: identify students who might be at risk of struggling academically or even dropping out.
And I'm not.
Then advisors and faculty can reach out proactively, offer support before the student hits a crisis point. Reports suggest this is already helping improve retention rates and academic outcomes.
I saw an example here about UT Permian Basin doing something specific in their special education program. That sounded interesting.
Yes, this is a fantastic use case. UTPB is integrating AI tools like ChatGPT directly into their graduate curriculum for aspiring special education teachers.
So they're teaching the teachers how to use AI.
Exactly. Future teachers are learning to use AI to help design individualized learning materials, things tailored to specific student needs. They can even use it to simulate classroom scenarios, get feedback from the AI on how they handle different student interactions or implement certain strategies.
Wow, that sounds like incredibly valuable practice before they're actually in a real classroom.
It really is. UTPB also secured funding to research how AI coaching can improve that really complex process of drafting individualized education programs, IEPs,
Right.
and also adapting lessons for diverse learners. They found early success with teachers feeling AI helps streamline the process, offer new ideas. They also incorporate tools like Canva's AI for creating customized visuals quickly. So by teaching this, they're sending out new special education teachers already equipped with these modern tools.
Okay, so Texas is clearly on the move with AI, lots of different applications. But this isn't just a local trend, is it? AI integration in education is a global phenomenon.
Absolutely. It's a transformative force worldwide. Countries are leveraging AI to personalize learning, evolve teaching methods, and make more data-informed decisions.
Let's look at some global examples from the source material. Finland, always known for its strong education system.
Yeah.
They're using AI.
They are. Finland is utilizing AI-powered platforms that provide personalized feedback and adaptive instruction, essentially tailoring the learning path to each student's needs and pace, which is, the holy grail for a lot of educators. They also use AI-driven data analysis to help educators understand broader student performance trends and refine their teaching strategies overall.
China has also been a major player in this space, particularly with companies like Squirrel AI Learning. I've heard of them.
Right. Squirrel AI is a prominent example of large-scale personalized tutoring powered by AI. Very data intensive. It uses advanced machine learning to identify a student's strengths and weaknesses very precisely, and then delivers customized instruction to fill the gaps. Beyond that, China has implemented a really comprehensive, tiered national AI education system.
A tiered system. You mean across grade levels?
Yes. It starts in primary school with foundational AI literacy, understanding basic concepts, ethics, AI's role in daily life, just awareness. Junior high delves deeper, basics of machine learning, introduces programming like Python, covers data ethics, bias analysis.
Being more technical.
Right. Then senior high is focused on more advanced topics, designing algorithms, applying AI to real-world problems, systems thinking, and even ethical leadership in AI development.
That's quite a progressive pathway they've laid out there. Very structured.
It is. And supporting this are nationwide policies like mandatory AI training for teachers,
Mhm.
a national online platform for AI education resources, and notably a prohibition on AI-generated content in exams to ensure original thinking and skill demonstration.
Interesting. Okay, back in the U.S., outside of Texas, AI is also being used at a broader level, right? Educational service agencies are leveraging it.
Yes, ESAs, which often support multiple school districts, are using AI to tackle systemic challenges. A common application is predicting which high school students are at risk of dropping out, analyzing demographic and academic data. AI helps flag these students early so the agencies can coordinate interventions across districts if needed. They also use AI platforms sometimes to provide educators with tailored instructional strategies and resources.
And there are some specific K-12 public school examples in other states, too. Newark Public Schools in New Jersey piloted Conmigo.
Right, Khan Academy's AI tutor chatbot. Newark piloted it in grades 5 to 8 across core subjects, specifically to help students catch up after the pandemic learning loss.
What were the results like? Did it help?
Well, the AI tutor is designed to have more human-like dialogue, offering hints rather than just answers, diagnosing where a student is making errors. The district reported promising results, including improvements in math scores among students who used Conmigo regularly. That led them to secure a grant to expand it district-wide.
Good outcome. And Cleveland Metropolitan School District in Ohio is using AI for reading skills.
Yes, they implemented Amira, an AI literacy tutor. Amira listens to young students read aloud, uses speech recognition to identify errors, and provides immediate feedback and encouragement. It focuses on fluency and pronunciation.
How is it used?
In their pilot, it worked one-on-one with students, kind of like a digital reading buddy, and it helps teachers track individual progress over time.
New York City Public Schools had that very public shift on AI, right? Initially banning tools like ChatGPT.
They did, yeah. Big headlines. And then they reversed course. Now, the nation's largest school district is piloting a custom AI teaching assistant built with Microsoft using Azure OpenAI, specifically in high school computer science classes.
And the numbers there were pretty telling, weren't they, about student usage?
They were striking. In just a 2-week pilot, about 100 students collectively asked the AI assistant over 2,000 questions. That's significantly more than human teachers could realistically answer individually in that time frame, Teachers observed that the AI, which was programmed to guide students toward answers rather than just giving them away.
Right, not just spitting out code.
Exactly. It was particularly helpful for quieter students, those who might be hesitant to ask questions in front of the whole class.
That really highlights AI's potential for increasing access and engagement for different types of learners. Mesa Public Schools in Arizona has another early warning system similar to Austin's.
Correct. Their AI system uses academic and behavioral data to predict student risk up to a quarter in advance. Like Austin's, it notifies staff counselors, teachers, so they can step in proactively. They see potential benefits for both general education students and those needing special education support by catching those early signs of difficulty.
And Gwinnett County Public Schools in Georgia took a different structural approach, it looks like.
Yes, Gwinnett is an example of integrating AI into the curriculum framework itself, more systemically. They've created a K-12 AI-themed cluster of schools designed to provide progressive AI education across different subjects. And it's aligned with Georgia's state academic standards, so it's embedded.
So we've talked about core subjects, administrative help, early intervention. What about AI in more specialized areas, like special education and mental health?
This is a really important frontier, and potentially very impactful. In special education, there's promising research on using AI for developing individualized education programs, or IEPs.
How is AI helping with something as complex and, well, individualized as an IEP?
There was a peer-reviewed study. It had special educators use ChatGPT to help draft IEP goals for students. Compared to a control group writing goals traditionally, the AI-assisted group produced significantly higher quality goals.
Higher quality how?
They scored closer to a perfect 10 out of 10 on a quality rubric. They were more comprehensive, specific, measurable.
And it saved time.
Yes, teachers reported writing the goals more quickly, and they felt the AI helped them brainstorm ideas, consider different phrasing, made the process less daunting. This is leading to the development of tools like IEP Copilot. Specific tools for this, although, and this is crucial, privacy compliance and careful vetting are absolutely critical here because of the sensitive student data involved.
Absolutely. Okay, beyond academics, AI is also being looked at for mental health support. That seems like a tricky area.
It is tricky, but the potential is there. The World Economic Forum has highlighted the potential of machine learning in mental health prevention. By analyzing biological and behavioral data patterns, algorithms might be able to identify individuals at risk for conditions like depression or psychosis earlier, enabling preventative strategies. Also, improved AI speech recognition is enhancing the effectiveness of interactions on mental health platforms, making communication smoother.
And given the significant need, I think the stat was around 20% of U.S. adults face mental health challenges, often with limited access to professional help. These tools could be huge.
Precisely. Digital platforms that connect users with support, like Ginger.io as mentioned, they're seeing results. One study showed that 72% of Ginger.io users reported substantial improvement in depressive symptoms over a year, using the platform to connect with emotional health coaches.
That brings up an important point, though, the ethics of using AI in mental health. It's not just about efficiency.
Absolutely not. While the potential is immense, it really underscores the imperative to uphold ethical standards fiercely. We must ensure AI tools here complement, not replace, human empathy and judgment.
Right.
Avoiding misuse and depersonalization is crucial. AI lacks human warmth, that intuition, so its role must be to enhance human support, perhaps flag issues, but not stand in for it entirely.
Okay, let's shift back to traditional higher education institutions. Outside of Texas this time, are they also seeing organic AI adoption or more formal pilots?
Both, really. California State University, Channel Islands, for example, is piloting MathGPT.ai.
Another AI math tutor.
Yeah.
Seems like a popular application.
It is. This one is available 247 for students in entry-level courses like pre-calculus and calculus. It guides students step-by-step through problems. It's also integrated with their OpenStax digital textbooks, making the textbook interactive.
That's neat.
And crucially, it provides real-time data back to the human tutors and professors, showing them where students are getting stuck collectively or individually before they even ask for help.
That's smart, identifying those friction points proactively. What about Michigan State? Sounds like it was more bottom-up there.
Yeah, at Michigan State University, much of the AI adoption seems to have been more organic, particularly with tools like ChatGPT. Faculty and graduate students are using it as a kind of study buddy or teaching aid. Coding instructors are actually teaching students how to write effective prompts for AI.
Oh, interesting. Teaching prompt engineering.
Right. And grad students are using it to help understand complex research problems or explain difficult concepts. That constant availability for explanations, 247, is particularly valued, including by students with disabilities who might need information presented differently or repeatedly.
That connects to accessible learning more broadly, doesn't
It
it?
absolutely does. AI tools like ChatGPT are being explored as potential assistive technology for students with disabilities. This aligns really well with Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. That framework for designing learning experiences accessible for everyone from the start. Disability support centers are noting that AI can provide instant clarification for neurodivergent students, for example, who might process information differently or benefit from alternative explanations. Universities like Pitt and UVA are even starting to offer workshops for faculty on how to use generative AI to create course materials that are more accessible from the outset.
So across K-12, higher ed, special ed, even touching on mental health. AI is definitely being implemented in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
What are the common threads? What makes an AI implementation successful in an educational setting, based on these examples?
Several key factors really emerge from the research in these cases. First, collaboration is crucial. It's not just about a school buying a tool off the shelf. Educational institutions, the tech providers, policymakers, researchers, they all need to work together, sharing best practices, co-developing solutions that truly align with educational goals, not just, selling tech for tech's sake.
So it's a real partnership approach, not just vendor-client.
Yes, ideally. Second, equitable access is paramount. We absolutely have to address the digital divide. This means providing the necessary infrastructure, broadband, devices, and ensuring these AI tools are available in underserved areas, rural communities.
Ah,
AI shouldn't deepen existing inequalities. The goal should be to help bridge them.
right.
Tools like text-to-speech translators or AI tutors need to be widely available to truly benefit all students.
And what about the people using these tools every day? The educators, teachers, professors?
Continuous professional development. For teachers and faculty, it's essential. Educators need training not just on how to click the buttons, but why these tools are being used, how to integrate them effectively into their practice, and importantly, how to critically evaluate their outputs and limitations. Knowing when the AI is helpful and when it's not, or even wrong.
Good point.
AI should be used to augment human capabilities, support and enhance teachers' roles, not just replace tasks wholesale.
Speaking of teachers and curriculum,
Yeah.
how is AI impacting what's actually being taught and designed, the syllabus itself?
We're seeing AI influence syllabi, particularly in higher education.
Hmm.
Institutions are developing or needing to develop transparent syllabi, ones that clearly outline guidelines on how and when students are allowed to use AI tools, or where their use is restricted, like on certain assignments. Policies guiding the use of generative AI like ChatGPT are becoming necessary. You can't just ignore it.
And are universities connecting AI use back to foundational learning goals? Is it just about using the tech, or is it tied to outcomes?
The good implementations are trying to do that, aiming to ensure that using AI tools aligns with learning objectives, maybe framed using frameworks like Bloom's taxonomy. Does it support higher order thinking or just basic recall? Institutions like UTEP, for example, have publicly shared guidelines on drafting AI integrated syllabi, which is helpful.
What are the overall benefits, then, of approaching curriculum design with AI in mind when it's done well?
Well, it can significantly improve learning outcomes, potentially, enhance accessibility for students with different needs, and streamline some administrative tasks related to curriculum delivery. But the big one, the promise everyone talks about, is personalized learning.
Right.
Adaptive learning systems powered by AI can tailor content and pace in real time based on how an individual student is performing, adjusting the difficulty, offering remediation, moving faster if they get it.
And we see universities actually implementing these adaptive systems. It's not just theoretical.
Exactly. Stanford University, for instance, has used AI-driven adaptive platforms in some courses and reported improved student outcomes and higher course completion rates. Similarly, the University of Melbourne down in Australia is leveraging AI to proactively identify students who might be struggling in courses so they can provide timely support interventions.
Okay, so we've seen the potential, the successful examples, the factors needed. But let's get into the flip side. What are the significant challenges and, maybe more importantly, the ethical considerations that educators and institutions are grappling with right now?
These are perhaps the most important points to discuss, honestly. Beyond the technical challenges of just making it work, the ethical implications are massive. Data privacy and security are huge concerns, obviously. AI systems often require access to vast amounts of sensitive student data to function effectively. Institutions absolutely need robust data protection policies, transparency with students and families about how data is used, clear consent processes, and strong ethical guidelines. Any misuse of student data, or even the perception of misuse, could really erode trust, fundamentally.
And equity issues come up here again too, right? Beyond just access to the tech.
They do. AI must not worsen existing inequalities. There's the risk we talked about underprivileged schools lacking access, but even with access, the design of the AI can be biased.
Right.
We need to ensure equitable access across the board and that the tools themselves are fair.
We touched on this with mental health, but what about the balance between AI and human interaction in the general classroom setting?
This is critical. There's a real tension here. AI should always be seen as a complement to human interaction, not a replacement. The guidance, the mentorship, the socio-emotional support that teachers and professors provide, that's irreplaceable. You can't automate empathy.
Mm.
AI can augment human capabilities, handle repetitive tasks, provide quick feedback, analyze data, but it shouldn't lead to a dehumanized educational experience. Human connection is fundamental to learning, to motivation, to well-being.
Another challenge mentioned in the materials is algorithmic bias. What does that mean in this context? How does it play out?
Okay, so AI systems are trained on data. And if that training data reflects existing societal biases, racial, gender, linguistic, socioeconomic level, the AI can learn and perpetuate those biases, sometimes even amplify them. For example, research has shown that some AI systems, including speech recognition tools used in educational platforms,
Like the reading tutors, maybe?
potentially, yes, they can perform worse on non-standard dialects, like African American vernacular English compared to standard American English. This isn't necessarily a deliberate programming choice, it's often reflection of the data the AI was trained on. Maybe it didn't have enough examples of that
So
dialect.
what's the impact?
It can lead to misinterpretations of a student's speech, potentially unfair assessments of their reading ability, or just make the tool frustrating and ineffective for them. It can exclude or disadvantage students whose linguistic identities aren't adequately represented in the data. So, transparency about the data used for training and a real commitment to fairness in algorithm design are essential. It's a hard problem.
Yeah, sounds like it. Beyond the ethical landscape, what are the practical hurdles? Just getting AI implemented widely.
Oh, there are definitely logistical and operational challenges, big ones. Creating relevant, high-quality content for AI platforms takes time and expertise. Providing sufficient ongoing training for faculty and staff is a major investment. And just integrating new AI tools into existing, often complex educational technology systems, the student information systems, the learning management systems that can be technically difficult and expensive. There's also a significant gap right now in adoption rates between students and instructors.
What kind of gap are we talking about?
Well, a survey in 2023 found that about 27% of students reported using generative AI regularly for their schoolwork, but only 9% of instructors said they were regular users.
Wow, that's a big disconnect. 27 versus 9%.
It is. And nearly half of students surveyed had tried AI writing tools at least once, but 71% of instructors said they had never even tried them. This gap in familiarity, comfort level, and maybe even trust makes it much harder to scale AI initiatives effectively and integrate them meaningfully into teaching and learning across an institution.
Yeah.
Bridging that gap through better training, open dialogue, and clear institutional guidance is absolutely key.
So looking forward then, we've seen the applications, the successes, the challenges. What do the future prospects for AI in education look like? What's the trajectory?
Well, the choices we make today, the way we navigate these challenges, they're definitely setting the stage for the future. It feels like a pivotal moment. To harness AI's power positively, we need, well, caution. A strong commitment to student well-being above all else, fostering collaboration, maintaining transparency, prioritizing those ethical practices we discuss.
And the market predictions show this is expected to grow
Yeah.
significantly.
Oh, yes. The global AI and education market is projected to exceed $20 billion by 2027. Some forecasts see it hitting, get this, around $112 billion by 2034. Massive growth.
Huge numbers.
And within the next 3 years, almost all U.S. higher education institutions, 99.4% in one survey, view AI as crucial for their future competitiveness. They feel they have to engage with it.
What are the primary trends we can expect to see fueling this growth? Where's the focus likely to be?
Hyper-personalized learning is probably number one, still the biggest promise. We'll see more sophisticated AI integrated directly into learning management systems, those online platforms like Canvas or Blackboard that many schools use, tailoring content, pacing, assessments to individual student needs, identifying and addressing their specific gaps in knowledge, optimizing teaching delivery based on real-time data. Some projections suggest AI platforms could eventually provide learning recommendations with around 80% accuracy, potentially matching or even exceeding expert human advice in certain specific contexts.
Enhanced administrative efficiency seems likely too, based on what we've discussed.
Definitely. Streamlining tasks. Like managing routine student inquiries with AI chatbots, we saw that example in Brevard Public Schools in Florida. That saves staff time, reduces workload, and boosts efficiency across the institution. Lets humans focus on more complex issues.
And making better use of all that data.
Absolutely vital. Data-driven decision-making. AI can analyze massive data sets bigger than humans can easily process to monitor student performance trends, identify patterns, and provide educators and administrators with actionable insights to inform their strategies. This helps refine teaching methods, allocate resources more effectively, and hopefully enhance outcomes based on actual evidence.
And finally, integrating other emerging tech alongside AI.
Yes, it's not just AI in isolation. Machine learning algorithms will continue to refine personalized learning by constantly adapting to student progress. Natural language processing, the tech behind chatbots and translation, will enable more sophisticated virtual assistants providing real-time academic support or language help. The trend is towards creating more interactive, responsive, and adaptive learning environments overall.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? We've taken a deep dive into how AI is actively changing education today, We've looked at specific examples from classrooms right here in Texas to universities and school systems across the globe.
We've seen AI being implemented in really practical ways, predicting student risk, providing always available tutoring, streamlining tasks for teachers, even being integrated into teacher training for special education, and explored for mental health support.
We've highlighted those critical factors for successful implementation: the need for strong collaboration, ensuring equitable access so everyone benefits, and providing continuous training and support for educators so they feel confident and competent.
But we've also surfaced the significant challenges. The absolute necessity of protecting student data privacy, ensuring these tools promote equity rather than worsen inequalities, guarding against algorithmic bias disadvantaging certain students, and crucially, finding that right balance. Leveraging powerful AI tools while preserving essential human connection, mentorship, and judgment in the learning process.
And here's where it gets really interesting looking ahead. The trajectory seems clear towards even more hyper-personalized learning experiences, significantly more efficient administration, and data playing a much larger role in shaping teaching strategies on a massive scale.
But this raises a really important question, something for you to consider as AI becomes increasingly woven into the fabric of education. How do we ensure that our focus remains squarely on fostering critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, maybe that unique joy of human discovery that comes from learning, rather than just optimizing for the efficient delivery of information? What aspects of teaching and learning must always involve that messy, unpredictable, but absolutely essential human interaction?
This deep dive is just the beginning of understanding this transformative shift. Keep learning, keep questioning.